Hi dear students, my name is Ubedullah Beg and I am your new English teacher. Working at MPUP school in Chagallu, located in Nekarikallu Mandal of Pannadu district. I am happy to be here to teach you the third part of the lesson quality. I hope you are all ready for an exciting session to learn the third part of the lesson. Welcome to our session and get ready to explore the exciting concepts. Today we are going to continue learning about shoemaker in our lesson quality. As it is part 3 of the lesson, in this lesson we will explore the concept of quality and why it matters. Along with this, we have an interesting poem also. So let's dive in and explore the concepts of speaking and writing. Before going into the lesson, let us see the overview of the lesson. In part 1 and 2, we completed before you read, reading, working with text, working with the language related to the quality lesson. In this session, we have 3 subtopics to cover. They are speaking, writing, trees poem, working with the poem. Before we begin our lesson, let's take a look at what we hope to achieve. That is our learning objectives for this lesson. By the end of this lesson, you will be able to analyze and discuss the character of Mr. Jessler in the story Quality, highlighting his strengths as a bootmaker and his challenges as a competitive businessman. Second one, practice speaking with a specific accent by imitating Mr. Jessler's pronunciation of certain words and phrases and understand the basic differences. Third one, practice and engage in a role play activity based on the provided picture expressing their agreement or disagreement. Fourth one, narrate and write by creating a short story based on the given points. Fifth one, analyze and interpret the poem Trees, identifying the games and human activities involving trees. Sixth one, compose their own poems about either water or air, demonstrating their understanding. Now be ready to enter into the third part of the lesson, in which we have speaking competency questions and writing activities included. Speaking, it has 4 questions basically in the textbook. Question number 1 is, do you think Mr. Jessler was a failure as a bootmaker or as a competitive businessman? Answer this question. The answer is Mr. Jessler was an amazing bootmaker. His customers were highly satisfied with the quality of boots he made. He was a failure as a competitive businessman. He did not have much money to spend on advertisements. Whatever he earned went into the raw materials and rent. Now, question number 2. What is the significance of the title? To whom or to what does it refer? Answer this question. The answer is the title Quality refers to the great quality of boots made by Mr. Jessler. He was proficient at it. He would not let others even touch the boots until they got ready. He was a true perfectionist who believed in quality. He was losing business but still never compromised on the quality of the boots he made. Quality is not much of a concern for the big firms. They rely on their advertisements to attract customers. Now, question number 3. Notice the way Mr. Jessler speaks English. His English is influenced by his mother tongue. He speaks English with an accent. When Mr. Jessler speaks P, T, K sound like B, D, G, can you say these words as Mr. Jessler would say them? It comes and never stops. Does it bother me? Not at all. Ask my brother, please. Now answer this question. The answer is Mr. Jessler would have said the above statements like, it comes and never stops. Does it bother me? Not at all. Ask my brother, please. Now, question number 4. Speak to 5 adults in your neighborhood. Ask them the following questions. in any language they are comfortable with. Then come back and share your findings with the class. First one is, do they buy their provisions packed in plastic packets at a big store or loose from a smaller stores near their houses? Question number 2 is, where do they buy their footwear? Do they buy branded footwear or footwear made locally? What reasons do they have for their preference? Third one is, do they buy ready-made clothes or buy cloth and get their clothes stitched by a tailor? Which do they think is better? Now let us answer these three questions one by one. First one is, do they buy their provisions packed in plastic packets at a big store or loose from a small store near their house? Answer might be, they buy their provisions packed loose from a smaller store near their house. Second question is, where do they buy their footwear? Do they buy branded footwear or footwear made locally? What reasons do they have for their preference? Answer might be, they buy footwear made locally. They prefer the local ones because the branded ones are too expensive and they don't like to spend too much on regular footwear. Some people may prefer branded ones. Mostly city people prefer branded ones. Now the third question, do they buy ready-made clothes or buy cloth and get their clothes stitched by a tailor? Which do they think is better? Answer is, they buy both, the ready-made as well as the ones that are stitched by a tailor. If they want any customized stitch, then they prefer the one that is stitched by a tailor. Now look at the picture. Let pairs of students talk to each other about leaving the country. One student repeats Ajit's statement, the other gives a reason for not agreeing with Ajit. The sentence openings given below should be used. If I leave this country, I'll miss something something. There are some things which you can get only here. For example, something. There are some special days I'll miss, particularly something. Most of all, I'll miss because something. I think it's impossible for me to leave my country because something. How can you leave your own country except when something? Depends on one's intention. I can't leave for good because something. Maybe for a couple of years, something. Here is the answer. Ajit says, I have decided to go abroad for higher studies. Anisa says, have you? I don't think I'll ever do that. I love my country. If I leave this country, I'll miss my friends with whom I have played and spent so much time. There are some things which you can get only here. For example, snacks that are particularly prepared here, our traditions, festivals, etc. There are some special days I'll miss, particularly festivals like Holi, Deepavali, Sankranti, Ramzan, etc. Most of all, I'll miss my younger brother because we spent almost the entire day together. I think it's impossible for me to leave my country because I can't go away from my family and friends, and I can't go so far from them. How can you leave your own country except when there is truly no way you can stay here? Depends on one's situation. I can't live for good because I can't even wonder how I will survive so far from my close ones. Maybe for a couple of years I can stay this far from home. So far we have completed all the questions of a speaking section. Now it's writing time. Let us jump into writing section without any delay. Writing question is here. Based on the following points, write a story. Your aunt has gone to her mother's house. Your uncle does his cooking. He is absent minded. He puts vegetables on the stove. He begins to clean his bicycle outside. The neighbor calls out saying something is burning. Your uncle rushes to the kitchen. To save vegetables, he put some oil on them. Unfortunately, it's machine oil, not cooking oil. What do you think happens to the vegetables? Begin the answer like this. Last month, my aunt decided to visit her parents. Something, something. Here is the answer for you. Last month, my aunt decided to visit her parents. My uncle was alone at home, and so he used to cook for himself. He was a little absent minded. Once it so happened that he put vegetables on the stove and went outside to clean his bicycle. After some time, the neighbor called him out, saying that something was burning. Uncle rushed inside. To save the vegetables, he put some oil on them. Unfortunately, it was machine oil and not cooking oil. The vegetables were not fit to be eaten now. Uncle had to throw it all away. Hooray! Speaking and writing are completed. Now it's time to recite the poem now. Without any delay, let's dive into the poem and enjoy it. Before going into the poem, let's complete this introductory activity related to the trees and our poem. That is, take a few minutes to tell one another the names of trees that you know or have heard of. Mention the things trees give us. Then, read this poem about trees. Here is the answer for you. People who primarily reside in the Indian states of Andhra Pradesh and Telangana are familiar with a wide variety of trees. Here are some commonly known trees in Telugu: banyan tree, neem tree, peepal tree, palm tree, eucalyptus tree, teak tree, bamboo tree, mango tree, etc. These are just a few examples, and Telugu people are familiar with many more tree species found in their region. Here are the benefits that trees provide: oxygen production, air purification, shade and cooling, wildlife habitat, wood and timber resources, food production, soil erosion prevention, carbon sequestration, aesthetics and recreation. Waiting is over. Here is the poem for you. Trees are for birds, trees are for children, trees are to make tree houses in. Trees are to swing on. Trees are for the wind to blow through. Trees are to hide behind in hide and seek. Trees are to have tree parties under. Trees are for kites to get caught in. Trees are to make cool shade in summer. Trees are to make no shade in winter. Trees are for apples to grow on and pear. Trees are to chop down and call timber. Trees make mother say, what a lovely picture to paint. Trees make father say, what a lot of leaves to rake this fall. Now, let us recite this poem again with proper stress and intonation. Now, poem is over. Hope you enjoyed it. Let us continue further with working with the poem section. Now, answer these questions. Question number 1. What are the games or human activities which use trees or in which trees also participate? Here is the answer. The poem mentions several games or human activities that involve trees. These include making tree houses, swinging on swings attached to trees, playing hide and seek behind the trees, having tea parties under trees, flying kites that may get caught in trees, enjoying the cool shade provided by trees in summer. Here is the question number 2. In question number 2, we have two separate small questions. First one is, trees are to make no shade in winter. What does this mean? Contrast this line with the line immediately before it. Question number 2, trees are for apples to grow on or pears. Do you agree that one purpose of a tree is to have fruit on it? Or do you think this line is humorous? Here is the answer for first question. The line trees are to make no shade in winter means that during winter, when the trees lose their leaves, they do not provide shade because their branches are bare. This line contrasts with the previous line, which states that trees make cool shade in summer when their leaves are abundant. Now, the answer for the second question. The line, trees are for apples to grow on or pears, suggests that one of the purposes of trees is to bear fruit. This line can be interpreted as both serious and humorous. It acknowledges the fact that certain trees, such as apple or pear trees, are known for producing fruit. However, the playful tone of the poem, especially with the inclusion of the line, trees are to chop down on called timber, suggests a whimsical and light-hearted approach to the description of trees and their purposes. Here is the question number 3 for you. With the help of your partner, try to rewrite some lines in the poem or add new lines of your own as in the following example. Trees are for birds to build nest in. Trees are for people to sit under. Here is the answer. Trees are for birds to build nests in. Trees are to sit under a peaceful retreat. Trees are for squirrels to play and explore. Their branches a playground forevermore. Trees are to be painted a canvas of hues. Trees are for climbers reaching for the sky, conquering heights. Trees are to inspire, sparking imagination, a source of wonder and creative elation. Trees are for close friends, whispering sweet secrets. Trees are for the world, oxygen's birthplace. Now, try to compose a similar poem about water or air. Here is the poem on water. Water is for fish to swim and play in glistening depths, their elegant ballet. Water is to quench our thirst and hydrate, refreshing our bodies, a vital intake. Water is for raindrops to kiss the ground, nourishing the earth, life's cycle profound. Water is to sail on with billowing sails, guiding ships through vast and adventurous trails. Here you can get the continuation of the poem. Now, here is a poem about air. Air is for birds to take to the skies, soaring on the currents with effortless cries. Air is to breathe a life-giving embrace, filling our lungs with each inhale's grace. Air is for winds, a playful dance, whispering secrets through every chance. Air is to fly kites, reaching new heights, harnessing breezes with joyful delights. Air is for voices, melodies on the breeze, carrying songs across mountains and seas. Air is to cool, a gentle refreshing touch, a gentle breeze that soothes so much. Like this, you can continue the poem furthermore. Now, let us recall what the poet's intention behind this poem and what we have understood in this so far. Trees are useful for birds because they provide a place for them to build their nests and rest. Trees are important for children because they can play and have fun around them. Trees can be used to construct tree houses where children can play and spend time. Trees can be used to hang swings and enjoy swinging back and forth. Trees allow the wind to pass through them, creating a pleasant breeze. Trees can be used as hiding spots during games like hide and seek. Trees provide a nice place to have tea parties and enjoy the shade they offer. Trees can sometimes catch kites when they fly too close to them. Trees provide cool shade during the hot summer months. Trees don't provide much shade during the winter when their leaves fall off. Trees are where fruits like apples and pears grow. Trees can be cut down with a loud timber sound. Mothers appreciate trees because they make beautiful subjects for paintings. Fathers also appreciate trees for various reasons. And the fathers would say, "What a lot of leaves to rake this fall." Raking refers to the act of using a rake, a tool with a long handle and a row of teeth to gather leaves into piles for disposal or composting. The statement suggests that there is a substantial quantity of leaves on the ground, possibly indicating that the trees in the area have shed a large amount of foliage.